Alright, what's going on today, YouTube? Welcome back to your favorite cyclist YouTube channel. And this week's Bike Quick Talks. So what are we talking about this week? This week we're talking about all about chain lubes and which one is the one you should use for your bike. But before we get into today's video, if you are new to my channel, make sure you head down below, hit that subscribe button for me. If you already are subscribed, make sure that little bell icon is checked off. That way you get notified every time I upload. That way you don't miss any of these awesome bike quick talks, tutorials, reviews, and of course rides we do on this channel, because that's all sorts of fun stuff on this channel. So, into the video, talking about different types of chain loops today. So if you ever been to a bike shop or even your local Walmart, you've seen on their shelves they have tons of different types of different chain loops. What do they all even mean? Why are there so many? Isn't there one that just works for every situation? That's a very good question. Today we're talking about two main types here. We're talking about a wet lubricant and a dry lubricant. What do those mean? Well, we're going to start off with a dry conditioned lubricant first. So dry conditions lubricant, what is that for? That's going to be for if you're riding in a dry condition. So in my case, I live here in the desert in Nevada. There's really no mud on the trails. Pretty much if it's going to be anything, it's going to be dust, dirt, and that's about it. Not really any mud, snow, any of those conditions going to be on my chain at all. So with a dry lubricant, generally what that's going to do is you put it on your chain. In this case, this is the White Lightning. This is what I mainly use for our dry conditions here in Nevada. Pretty much what this does is it pretty much creates a wax-like film on top of the chain. Now what does that do? That pretty much protects the chain from any of that dust or anything getting inside the chain. And then when I come back after my ride, hit it with the hose, it just blows all that dust right off, super easy, and my chain lube is there remaining still. Super nice, super easy. Now I do have that. This is the wax type I told you. Muck Off has this one, it's a dry lube as well. This one here, it's not quite the wax type. It pretty much creates a film on top of it. When you wash your bike off, you just have to reapply afterwards, but it takes off all that dust, any kind of dirt you got on your chain with that lubricant, nice and easy. Now the other type of lubricant I want to talk about is going to be a wet lubricant. Now what is a wet lubricant going to do? Wet lubricant is going to be for your wet, muddy, snowy conditions. So in my case, I was in Hawaii. Hawaii, it rains all the time. So when it rains all the time, there's mud all the time. And what that wet lubricant does, it creates a layer on your chain there. So when you get mud, snow, whatever it may be on your chain, it pretty much allows you, when you come back to wash your bike, it'll pretty much blow all that off along with the chain lubricant, therefore leaving you with a clean drivetrain. Nice and simple. Also with the wet lubricant, it just lasts a lot longer in those heavy use, heavy wear, wet conditions that you're going to be riding in. It's much more resistant to washing away in the mud or whatever that may be. Therefore, if you're riding in those wet conditions and those muddy conditions, you got mud all here, mud in your rear derailleur. It's going to help keep that moisture out of all those bearings and all these pivot points in your chain. That way, it's making sure it's performing at its optimum performance the whole time. So which one is going to be the right one for you? Really, it's just going to depend on what kind of conditions you are riding in mainly. If you're kind of in a drier climate like I am here, the dry lubricant should work perfectly fine for you. That's what you're mainly going to be running. If you live in a wetter climate where there's mud, snow, the wet lubricant is probably going to be your way to go. Now there are a lot of people, even myself here in Nevada, I mean the winter, it does snow here. So in the winter you can run a wet lubricant if you're riding in the snow and the mud a lot. And then in the summer switch back to a dry lubricant. There is no issue at all doing that. A lot of people do that just based on where they live at. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a big thumbs up. Appreciate the support. Any comments or questions, let me know down in the comment section below. Love chatting with you guys. Love answering any questions you guys have. And we'll see you on the next video. Thanks for watching today.